Welcome to Impact Wrestling, a show that was quite surprising. Don't know if it's a good surprise, but it was surprising. Now, as I've said before, I did not see last week's Impact, so there were certain things here that I didn't get a great context of until they talked about it. So if I'm missing things because of last week, I am sorry. But let's go to the Motor City Machine Guns versus XXXL. You know, hearing that supposedly Larry D's alternate ego shot Bravo, and then later saying that he did not do it, that he was set up, just shows how weak the angle was. Now, it could still turn out okay eventually. Because at this moment right now, by saying Larry D is one who did the job, his alter ego, and they're going with it, and then you see Larry D talking to Tommy and saying, look, I didn't do it, it makes you think they're dragging it out a little bit too much. They're dragging it out. And they're probably going to end it by January when they come back, because we don't have much time left. We have maybe after the 12th, maybe the 16th or 20th. I'm not exactly sure. And then everything's going to be repeats. So my guess is either going to keep it on a cliffhanger until January and then they're going to settle it then. But honestly, this just felt weak. It was interesting to see they try and do the Dallas angle, but they haven't gone anywhere with it. So it just feels like a waste of time. And then you see this match. And then it feels like a waste of time. You know why? They say they're now going on the road to get the titles back, and that is the Motor City Machine Guns. They had an okay match with Larry D and AC. They did. I am not saying the match was bad, but here's the thing. You only have a certain amount of tag teams. What, unless I'm wrong, because I could be wrong, since I didn't see last week, was Reno Scum going up against the Motor City Machine Guns? I could be wrong. I don't think they did. So instead of setting up the Motor City Machine Guns going against Reno Scum, then going up at XXXL, then going for the North, and then going to the Good Brothers, no. We now have the Motor City Machine Guns dealing with XXXL, whooping their ass, and now we move on. Why not just build it up? Every 2 weeks you have them wrestle. Talk with the teams first. Let them go up against, like what happened with XXXL, where they could have done something more before Shelly came back. I just feel like they could have done more, and it just feels like they're not doing it. Since it is the end of the year, they're just wrapping things up nice and quick and neat, which I find to be sloppy. Now, we had another women's match for the tag title tournament. We had Killer Kelly and, oh my gosh, the woman's in my face. This gorgeous woman called Renee, you know who Renee Michelle is. You know how gorgeous this woman is, and she's good in the ring. She talks well, and the WWE did nothing with her except do the stupid the 7-11 2020 and a 24/7 champion as the wonderful, I don't know why this guy did not leave the WWE. And I am talking about R-Truth. The guy should go back to Impact Wrestling. He would have new life if he went back to Impact. I'm just telling you. R-Truth goes back to Impact Wrestling, he would have new life. Because he's done absolutely everything in WWE you can do. The only thing he never carried was a world title or WWE Universal title. He's done everything he can in that show, and there's nothing more for him to do. So it just hurt me to see him there. And then it hurt me to see Renee Michelle being treated like trash. And I'm glad they got rid of her, because at least now she has a better option to do something. Now, I don't know if she's signed with Impact Wrestling. I don't think she is. I think this is another independent thing. But it was, oh my gosh. It was so good to see her. And then you see Jazz. Jazz, and I did see the Chris Van Vliet's video saying that she's going to retire, but Impact called her back, probably for this tournament only. Which I understand why she probably did it, because hell, she still loves wrestling. And with the pandemic going on, she's going to need some money. She needs a little money. She still loves a little wrestling. Why not just do something with Jordynne Grace, which she did. And they moved on. I wasn't surprised. But it did hurt me a little bit because I want to see more Renee Michelle. The woman has talent. She's exceptionally beautiful. She knows how to talk, because when she was in WWE working with Rockstar Spud, Drake Maverick, I know I'm mispronouncing Drake Maverick, I just can't stand it. It's just, they could have done more. That's just me. You guys tell me below. Ashley, no, not Ashley. I guess the reason I botched Alyssa Edwards' name was because of what they did last week. They did show a little snippet of Eddie getting whacked in the face and bleeding. And I'm going, really? Really? You're rehashing attacking Eddie again with Sammy, using the mat. And she attacks Sammy because of what happened to her husband. Why? You see the scene in my face. Why? I don't want to see Eddie Edwards deal with Sami Callihan. Why couldn't you build Sammy up to deal with Rich properly? You didn't. Now I'm pissed off. I'm sorry, guys. If you find this great, more power to you. But you're doing nothing with Eddie Edwards. You're doing nothing with Ken Shamrock. And now Ken is now gone for 30 days because of the attack. And then you have Sami Callihan, who could have been built up beautifully in the last 2 months. 3 months, the best. 2 months, or even a month, you could have built something up with him and built something up with Rich, and you did nothing. Nothing. You could build them up going into Hard to Kill. No. You could even build them up for Retribution. That's supposed to be Impact Plus. Hell, from what I understand, they're going to do a Genesis in January as well. You could build them up into something, and they do nothing. And it just pisses me off. It does. I'm sorry, guys. Now, Cody Deaner versus Johnny Swinger, not again. Cody Deaner's, I guess the reason I botched this is because it wasn't a bad match. Because it didn't really get started much. You had Joe Doran, Joe Doran, because I'm trying to remember his name, and Eric Young come out and destroy everybody. And then you get an interesting little snippet well after the match is over, well after that nice segment of "we are coming to take everything. This is not yours. This is ours." That's what Eric Young said. You got Cody Deaner. You got him saying that he loved Eric Young. When he first started out, he got trained by him. He drove down the roads with him. He considered him family. And now he considers him nothing. He considers him nothing. And instead of playing on that, instead of building on this, you now go straight into a match next week after you now state this. Why? Why is the writing team of Impact Wrestling not making this interesting? Yes, I know it's the end of the year. In many cases, I like to wrap up some feuds. But you could have had something with Brian Myers and Tommy Dreamer. You could have had something with Rich Swann and Sami Callihan. You could have something with Cody Deaner and Eric Young. And you got Joe Dorley by his side, building him up. You have 3 good feuds going into 2021, but you're doing nothing to build it up. Nothing to mean it's something. And it's angering me. Maybe it's due to the fact I have not been myself. I'm not going to lie, guys. I've said this for weeks. I have not been myself. And I do not like to bring my own feelings and my own life into these reviews. You're here for wrestling. Maybe my feelings are askew. Maybe I'm just not myself, as I've been saying. But I want to hear your point of view. Do you believe I'm right about this? They could have done something with Tommy Dreamer and Brian Myers. They could have done something with Rich Swann and Sami Callihan. And you could do something with Cody Deaner and Eric Young. You could build on this. Yes, Cody Deaner's an idiot in his character. He acts stupid. They're drinkers. They're rednecks from Canada. But you could still build them into something, and you do nothing. Now, the one segment I really liked the most was, let me give it to you like this. I still don't know if Ethan Page is going to stay with this company after January. He could be done. But him beating up on Doc and then setting up Carl saying, you want revenge? I know you want revenge. I'm the one who did this. I'm the one who is lethargic. I was one who was manic. I'm the one who just loved it, beating up on the Doc. Come get me a retribution. But if I beat you, I want a title shot again with my partner who's in the background going like this. He's going like, you see Josh Alexander just going like, oh, come on. No, please calm your shit. Calm down. But I liked it. It showed great amount of emotion by Ethan Page. I did enjoy this, but it upsets me not knowing if Ethan is staying with the company. You guys, if you want to tell me, fine. But I don't know if he's staying with the company or not. He's supposedly rumored to be leaving. So the question is he leaving or not? Because if I remember, I saw him in ROH maybe about 3 weeks ago doing something. I could be wrong. No, that wasn't him. That was EC3. My mistake. But I'm wondering, is he staying or is he going? You guys can tell me what you think or if you heard the rumors. Now, we got Falaba and we got the Hood Rats talking about the money. Falaba realizing the Hood Rats took his money. And that is the Tasha Steele and the Kiera Hogan, my Hood Rats, being clever to try and steal from somebody. But now he wants his money. Now they're supposed to give it to him next week. They already had the money on them and they tricked his butt. So I don't know what's going on next week. You guys can tell me what you think. The money needs to be done. They need to do something with this money. This money's got to be spent. They got to do something with it. You guys tell me below. Now, you got Crazy Steve and Raju. A good match. But now you wonder where Raju's going to go. Because Brian Myers comes out, and from what I understand, he already told TJP, he already told Crazy Steve they were going to lose. So what is next? TJP is going to be facing Brian Myers probably next week. But does that mean something for the Debsy Hitman, D. Raju, Rohit? I don't know. I really do believe, and I love Rohit Raju. I do. He deserved to finally have a title after nearly 2 to 3 years of doing nothing with the Debsy Hit Squad, acting like comic relief when he didn't need to. I'd rather see him more serious. But it is time for him to drop that title. Maybe he'll do it in January. That's what my guess is. The question is, will he drop it to TJP as Manic? Or will he, unless Manic has already been used, or will he drop it to Brian Myers? My guess is maybe Brian Myers, unless the Manic persona has not been used yet. But that's just me. You guys can tell me below if Raju has faced Manic already. Because like I said, I didn't see last week's episode. Now, we got Willie versus Chris Bay. Now, I don't know if this means Willie is now going up against Rich. I don't know. This match was talking about eventually getting a shot, but I don't know if it is the shot. I don't know. In the end, when it came down to it, you got Willie winning. I wasn't surprised he was going to lose here. What am I saying lose? You know what it is? You wonder where Moose is going with this situation. he approaches Chris Bay before the match happens and says, and he's trying to tell him, look, trying to finesse something is not the key here. You got to take what you want, not finesse it. Then we have that match. The match was good. But then Chris loses to Willie. Does that mean Willie gets the title shot? I don't think so. But then you see at the very end, after Willie Mack gets speared by Moose, and you see the finesser himself, the smooth criminal, nail Rich, and holds that title overhead, trembling with excitement that he's holding a real Impact Championship. Where does that lead? And I want to know, because I don't know what happened last week. You guys can leave a message about what happened last week. But it makes you wonder, who's going after the title next? Is Chris Bay slated to get a title shot and maybe a retribution? I think that's on the 12th. Or is it next week or a week after? I don't know. You guys tell me below. Finally, I think the title has to be stated. They took her. You got Dana Purrazzo going to Father Mitchell wanting to get Susie back because she made a stupid mistake because Su Yung has been screwing with her and she can't deal with her. Yes, she got her title back, but that means nothing because Su Yung is driving her nuts. So he's telling her, I can't do anything unless I can get her somewhere where I can grab her. And she says, oh, I'll deal with that. Goes to the ring. Lures out Susie because she's contractable. She has a contract that allows her to get the title back. Good. She's called out. Then the Father Mitchell comes out and says, you know what? I'm sorry, sweetie, but you know what? It's time. You have been a thorn in my side for too long, and now it's time to end it. You got the undead brides come out. You got Dana Purrazzo nailing Susie. Susie could not spit the mist in her face. She starts choking on it. She gets pile-drived almost. And then she's taken away by the undead brides. I have no idea where they're going with this. But I will say that was the most fun segment to watch. See Susie taken away. I'll say this was a surprising show. Now, all of it is good surprising. And they seem to be dragging things out because it's the end of the year. And they're not willing. And I'm saying this again. They could have set things up so well going into 2021, just like I said. And they have not done it. Instead of setting things up to leave it at a cliffhanger at the end of this year, they've done nothing. They just ended things quickly because they didn't have the interest. This is what I said about the writing team. The creative in Impact sucks. And no matter if you guys like Impact or not, and I still love Impact, they need to do something better than this. The writing is not good. It's almost WWE-esque. I'm sorry. This is something the WWE will probably pull. Look at Crazy Steve. Because Crazy Steve pinned Raju, he gets a title shot. What does that sound like? The WWE. They don't see what they're doing. They need to act like NXT in some cases. I know not everyone likes NXT. But at least take certain aspects of NXT, which pretty much not even NXT anymore. It's more Vince turning NXT into maybe Raw Light. But beforehand, it was something you could enjoy at least certain points where there was really good storytelling with at least some great to good, decent wrestling. That's what I think Impact needs to be. The new NXT. Because NXT ain't NXT anymore. But this is just me. Peace.